Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, if you're part of the High Priestess tier and you're going through the series with us, there's a post over on the community section, so definitely check that out. I do encourage you guys to interact with each other inside the comments. This will help you have a feeling of support as you go through these habit changes. We're stacking a lot of them on top of each other, and so it's good to have that kind of energy. And if you are interested in the 3-month glow up using Microhabits, we are doing it in the High Priestess tier on the channel memberships, and you can find the channel membership link in the description box below. Okay, let's go ahead. Taking a step aside, and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, it's going to take a minute for me to sift through this. So I'm feeling something on the periphery. It's like spirits in the periphery. No, it's just something. It's like dual nature. It's like there's spirits on the periphery, but then there's also people on the periphery. Some of you, with the spirits on the periphery, for example, your dreams may be really weird. You may be actually seeing a lot of things out of the corner of your eye, or you may be having things go missing quite a bit right now. And then with the people in the periphery, it feels a little bit like there's someone out in the periphery that we may not even be aware of. I think you have a sense of it for whoever this message is for. Remember, my readings aren't here to tell you things you don't know. It's confirming something for you, and then there might be a message in there somewhere, but if you don't recognize this as you and you're like, oh my god, that's really happening, like this isn't going to be your message. So you know, you can continue to watch it. Your guides can speak to you however they choose to speak to you. But this message is specifically coming through for people who understand that this is happening for them. There is something here that's going on in the periphery on like a human level. So like there's a person or something that, I don't even know why that's coming up. I don't know what's going on with this person. For some of you, it might be somebody's like missing you or thinking about you a lot. Oh, okay, here we go. For some of you, it's like a person is thinking about reaching out. For others of you, somebody has been kind of dream walking. Oh, I'm getting a very magical person over here. All right, some of you have a very magical person in your periphery. So there's like this dual nature where it's like spirits and then people, and it's like mirroring each other. And why does this mirroring happen? And I'm just feeling like this even field where it's not that distinction or separation. So this is about a consciousness. So there's some sort of element of a collective type of consciousness that is making itself known inside the periphery. Okay, there we go. There we go. That took me a second. All right. Something about bells or chimes is going to... Oh, here we go. Symbols. So if you're new to my... Whew, that happened fast. Sometimes it comes at you fast. If you're new to my channel, my readings, the symbols that I give aren't here to tell you that it is or isn't your reading. They're here to tell whoever they resonate with to pay extra attention. So there's something about bells. These look a little bit like Christmas bells, but I almost feel like they're smaller. Almost like... Actually, I have one. Oh, shoot. Is this a message for me? We will see. It's my little cat bell, so people know I'm coming. Yeah, so something about bells that are like that. And then there's also something here about a white lotus flower. And then this is, I don't know what this is called. I think in, I don't know what these are called. They're like a flower that you find in more tropical climates. They're white and they have like a yellow center. And the petals are a little thicker. I don't know what those are called. Okay, and then I'm seeing something about owls, but it's interesting because it's not owls the way that I think most people like associate owls with like Greek deities. This is very, what is this? Is this Celtic? I'm feeling Celtic spring goddess of some kind associated with the owls. Okay. Whew. And then I'm seeing something about a blood orange or some, it may not necessarily be a blood orange. It's just some sort of orange that the color on the inside is a little redder than I think I'm used to. Somebody with those types of oranges. Okay. And then someone here is like, what is this? Someone here is starting to explore conjure or root working. Okay, conjure or root working. However they may think of that. Let's see. Okay, and then someone here, you recently just received like a little chunk of amber from somebody. And it's like a rough. It's not like a tumbled amber. It's like a rough cut of amber. Okay. 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 So this is there is several things that are coming together. This consciousness seems to be emerging because there are things that are trying to come together. I got this message in the all signs that I did for this month, where there's something for several of the signs about coalescing and strengthening, and there seems to be something here that's coming together, almost like someone has called something in. Okay, it's like this consciousness revealing itself both in the periphery of spirits and people is almost like the not the aftershock but the pre-shock of like it is coming to me like tectonic plates shifting. It's like a very big meeting or gathering. Some of you, this is in response to like a calling in that you're doing of others. Okay, it might be one other, it might be others in general. It's like this consciousness is a type of consciousness or a type of energy that's stirred up right now because it's moving out of the way. Ooh, that's pretty powerful. Okay, so whoever, because whoever this message is for, you are going to be aware of this person or these people that are kind of in the periphery. Whatever this person represents to you, this is the type of energy that is moving away, okay? I just heard like story change. There's some sort of story that's about to change. And I just want to say too that the number 3 is coming through a lot. I see 3 here. I have a deck that's actually turned the wrong way, and there's a 3 of Pentacles over there. Okay, there's a, it's like on my left, so on the past, there's like, I'm sorry, they're telling me to like look around me. So on my left, there's a window, outside the window is a forest. So we've gone through some sort of transition period. We've gotten a different perspective in that transition period, hence the window. And then now I'm going over to the right, and over to my right, what I'm seeing is I have a framed picture that someone gave me that they took of the Horsehead Nebula, but every time I look at it, it's very pink, like the colors that they have in it. It's very pink, and it's outlined in this very beautiful soft blue. So it's this sort of cosmic energy of safety, acceptance, security, love, peacefulness. Those are the energies that seem to be coming in. The interesting thing is that it's in a picture. So this is maybe an ideal that we have. And the reason why they're sweeping me from the left over to the right is to show that we aren't at that yet. So we haven't received that yet, but it's coming into view. Okay, it's coming into view. And we're just simply in this moment where we've left the transition because we've gained a different perspective, and this other thing is now coming into view. And this is why this consciousness is seeming to appear. It's a consciousness that is, it's like the last remnants of something that has to be left behind. Not that you have to do anything, it's moving out of the way. Again, it's that idea of the tectonic plates shifting. I think this one's going to be very confusing for people who it's not for. So, yes, okay. Let's see. Okay. Some of you already know that March is going to be a significant month for you. Here we have the 5 of Pentacles. Again, this is something about abandonment, something about leaving it behind. So there's this sort of consciousness. One of the reasons why it's rearing its head at this time is because it feels like it's getting left behind in some way. It understands that, what is this? I'm getting like weird vibes off this, to be honest. When I have this 5 of Pentacles, this is a storyline. Okay, so this is the storyline. And the storyline is a storyline of guilt, shame, abandonment. You know, this can even be like a storyline where someone is constantly gaslit, or a storyline where people always like just ditch you for no reason or betray you. I don't necessarily get the betrayal energy from the Five of Pentacles. That's more the Five of Swords for me. But because it is a five and they're all kind of tied in some essences, there may be like an underlying energy of betrayal that a person has experienced in a lot of their connections. This is definitely about connections. Someone here is calling in people into their life. And I've kind of been getting more messages about that recently than I have in the past. So very interesting. A lot of people in this collective are working on like calling in soul family, for example, or soul tribe. Some of you, you may be noticing that you're having some emotions come up right now, which is like a venting of this energy. And it's a venting of the energy that this collective consciousness of a sort has within you. So for example, you have energies in you that mirror this sort of consciousness, and as you're venting it and as you're processing it, this is starting to leave your story. It's almost like when you come out of a forest. I don't know. This is so nerdy. You're a knight on a white horse and you're coming out of a forest and there's a mist and you have to wait for that mist to part before you can see what's on the other side. That's kind of the imagery that they're giving me, right? Oh, I don't know why that's so funny right now. But that's the energy that they're giving me. And I actually feel that every little thing inside of that little image was very important for somebody. So, and I think that's why it was given to me that way. There's also something about spiders and spider webs that's coming through. There may have been a lot of spider web imagery that had just come up for somebody as they kind of stepped out of this foresty transition time with this new perspective. And I'm going to show you these two cards. So this is why I'm saying that there's a gathering, right? There's these Three of Cups here. So there's some sort of meeting that's taking place. For some of you, you know what that's going to be. For others of you, you don't know, but it's something that you know you've been calling in, and you know that around early spring, late winter is going to be important if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So end of February, beginning of March, somewhere in that time, you already know. Whoever this message is for, you already know. And with this Five of Pentacles, this is what is basically getting stirred up because of this. And Five of Pentacles, again, it's that energy of being left behind, being left out in the cold. In the Rider Waite, it's two people. One person is on some crutches, and then it's like a mother-son, and they're outside of a church, and they're in the snow, and you can see the light from the church kind of like shining on them, but they haven't received help. So maybe you have looked for people who would be very supportive of you, or who would help you when you needed help, because you're used to helping people. It's usually what the Five of Pentacles brings me to. Someone who's not receiving reciprocity in some way. And so this is the energy that is trying to leave. So if you have noticed that certain people are in the periphery, chances are they're going to be the type of people who haven't reciprocated in some way. And they may not even be in your life, but maybe you've been hearing their name a lot, or maybe you've been thinking about them more than you normally would, right? Like in that strange sort of way. Not if you have, issues with like reminiscing and like, limerence with this person. I'm not talking about that. It's if you truly like never think about them, and then all of a sudden you've been like thinking about them, or maybe you've been having dreams about them, or maybe people have just been mentioning them more. It's going to be something where on a gut level, you know that they're on the periphery. And this type of energy, when it's people, they do have a tendency to come forward before that energy leaves. So just be aware that some of you may have somebody reaching out. And you get to decide, right? Did you truly leave the forest, or are you returning to it? So let's see. What else is happening here? I want to get a little bit more about this collective story here. This consciousness. Okay, so one of the reasons why this, so this is what happens when things tend to leave, right? They try to keep us stuck. We see this with people, right? When you start to grow beyond like maybe what certain people will allow for you, and you realize that you have to start extricating yourself from particular individuals, they try to keep you, right? This is just normal. It's how things go. Like people don't like to let go of things. It's, not in our nature to be able to do that naturally, easily, right? Usually we have to go through a lot of things to be able to do that more easily. And it's the same is true with like these collective consciousness. I'm going to call it an archetype, right? It's like a type of archetype. I'm not going to label it because I actually feel that it's a little different for everyone, but it does seem to bring this storyline with it. What's happening here is we have the Eight of Swords. This is something where in our mental sphere, it's almost like it's trying to hem us in, it's trying to close us in. So, for example, if you're having a lot of experiences on a spiritual level with this type of energy, not becoming too interested in it is how you're going to prevent this from happening. The same thing with when the person comes forward. Not being too interested in it is going to prevent this from happening. It's your interest, your curiosity, your attention is your energy, right? Those are the things that keep you in that Eight of Swords once a trap like that is laid. And that's kind of how it's feeling. It's like a trap. It's trying to keep parts of itself stuck rather than allowing parts of itself to evolve, which you are a part of it. And so this energy is beginning to clear out. This sort of consciousness level is starting to clear out, which then frees you up to be able to explore connections that have like a higher sort of consciousness. There is something about horses, because remember the visualization that I was just given was the white horse. Over here I have the horse head nebula, so there's something about horses. Horses have been coming up a lot. I know we're entering the year of the horse, so some of you will tie it into that. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement that's about to take place. Now I am being drawn back to this picture a lot, and I'm being drawn back to the fact that it's a nebula, right? So in the death of something old, new things emerge. New things emerge. I'm being drawn to a particular star in that image. Some of you have been trying to manifest a person or people who really have this kind of like fire inside of their life. Really, it's almost like, how do I want to put this? It's almost like really trying to call in people that, and this almost ties into the last reading, who are actualized, right? People who, they know how to get things done, they know what they want in their life, they know how to make decisions, they know how to make their moves. And I think that whoever this message is for, you've had to learn to become that kind of person before you could call these people in, and that was a lesson that you had to learn along the way. Heart-centered, heart-focused is something that's coming through. Okay. There are also some messages that are coming through, not just from this sort of consciousness that's leaving, but also this consciousness that's emerging. And that's kind of how it feels, because remember I said the tectonic plates shifting. It's almost like one is shifting this way, the other one is coming forward. So it's like you're calling in a different level of consciousness that's a little bit more akin to what you're trying to embody. And I'm going to say that because that's how it's coming through, is that you're trying to embody this, and by doing so, you're calling in people who embody this. So it's like switching out one archetype that we've experienced for another archetype here. And then we have the Five of Swords. Remember I said the Five of Swords when I was over here at the Five of Pentacles. With this Five of Swords, however, this one doesn't really speak to me about betrayal, because it's coming after that message about messages. If you look at this particular card, he's holding his sword down. He's not battling, he's not doing anything, but he's sending the crows out, right? So I think that a lot of you are about to start making connections with people who they've had a very similar story to yours. They may have had a lot of betrayal in their past, whereas you might have had an undercurrent of betrayal, but for you it seems to be a little bit more about abandonment and always being left behind in some way. Here, what I'm seeing is that the people that are coming forward, they're coming forward in their energy first, because one of the reasons why I pull this deck, I noticed I'm always drawn to this deck when it's very energy heavy, when like the message is about someone experiencing energies, especially getting messages from those energies. So just like you're having on the periphery this sort of consciousness that's about to leave, you're having another consciousness behind that that's emerging because it's entering in. So there's, again, that twofold thing is happening, not just with spirits but with people. So you may start to feel like you're connecting to new individuals. I feel a lot of you, this is happening in the dream space, because dreams are really being highlighted right now. And they have been for a few weeks. So I think some of you, you're starting to have dreams of people that you don't necessarily know, but they're the type of dreams where like you're meeting people, you're hanging out with people. There may even be like this energy of like teaching that's going on and learning, and some sort of exchange that's taking place. There's also something here about almost like receiving a lot of messages in places that you weren't looking. And these messages that are coming forward are almost like, it's almost like a harbinger of like what's about to happen, of this like crossing of paths, or this meeting of minds of some kind. Okay. Now, because there are so many layers of these like consciousness energies, like these collective energies, it's getting a little hard to sift through. So I'm going to pull one more card. Okay. And this is kind of the point, is that there is an element of the ability for willpower to change things. Someone here, you've done this through sheer willpower. It's like it's been a very big focus inside of your life to change whatever this energy is that you've experienced inside of your life. Like there was a time in the past, and I'm going to say for most of you, this is going to be in years past, where you reached a point that was, I'm done with this. I don't want this to be my story anymore. And someone here has actively worked and put all of their focus on bettering themselves and bettering their life so that they could bring something new in. And this has successfully turned the wheel, right? This is something that happens in the sky, but this is something that happens on a soul level. Plenty of people have this whole rotation in the sky happen, and they never really evolve that much as people. We all probably know people like that, right? So in order to allow this to truly change us to its greatest potential, so that we can fulfill our greatest potential, it takes a lot of focus, dedication, and willpower. And it's paying off for whoever this message is resonating with. It's paying off. What you have underneath that is this card. It's the whole new beginning. It's the Fool card, right? This is ultimate potential. And how are you going to express that potential? You have some parameters to work within, but ultimately you get to choose. So there's some very beautiful things on the way for whoever this message is for. I'm going to leave this here. And if this resonates with you, feel free to like this video. Feel free to leave a comment. And until next time.